Hi everyone, I'm Jackie and welcome to my channel, Cheers Memories Crochet. Today I'm going to show you a much simpler way to make the Peppermint Christmas Throw. Instead of having the six-sided ones and the little bitty squares to put together for the original blanket, which is very pretty, I made two myself and I wanted to make a third one, but I didn't want it so time consuming to put everything together, so I thought, well, I'll come up with a square one. And you just put them together like regular granny squares. And I do have one almost finished, and it's really pretty. And when I get it done, I'll make a short video and put it in the description box so you can see what it looks like. And also, I'll put in the description box a link to how I put the squares together and the border that I'm going to use. I think I'm going to go with the way I put the original blanket, where I did backwards half double crochets, and I did it in red also, and it just brought this red out, and it was very pretty. So I think I'm going to do that same thing. And this is Mainstays yarn, and it's about 7.5 inches wide. I used a 5.5 millimeter hook, and let's see, I think that's all. What I'm going to do though is I don't really care much for the back, so I bought a one of those throws you can get at Walmart, and I got a red one, and I'm going to just sew it on the back. So that, and then I don't have to weave in all those ends, which is a plus. Also, the original, you have so many ends, so putting that blanket on the back will help, even though you're not going to have as many as the original blanket. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a link in the description box, because I did a 4-part tutorial on the original. So go watch my part 1, and it will take you through the first 10 rows. And then come back and we'll do rows 11, 12, and 13, which is the rows that make it square. And don't worry about this not being flat right now, because when you attach the squares, it becomes flat. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm getting ready to start row 11, and I've already attached my number 2 yarn, which is red. My number 1 yarn is the white, and I've slip stitched, of course, into the top of the chain 3. And now we're going to slip stitch into that second stitch. Let me get that a little bit tighter. Well, I may have gotten it a little bit too tight. There we go. Okay, now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go right back in that same stitch and do a single crochet, just like that. And we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So now we have 4 single crochets, and we're going to do 1 more in this gap right here. So that's 5 single crochets. And now we're going to move over here and work behind our number 2 yarn in this chain 5 space. And we're going to do 5 single crochets. And 5. You're going to come and work in the front on the number 1 yarn. You're going to skip that first one. Right here, that's the number 1. We're going to skip that in the second one. 1 single crochet. You're going to keep going till you get to the gap. Now I have 4 single crochets. And now in the gap, I'll place my 5th single crochet. And then you're going to work behind the second color yarn in that chain 5 space, and you're going to do 5 single crochets. So this is a very simple row right here. 2, 3, 4, 5. So go ahead and continue that same pattern all the way around, And at the end you should have 80 single crochets, and I'll meet you here at the end. Okay, I'm at the end of row 11. I'm going to skip over this chain 1, and I'm going to slip stitch to that first single crochet right there. And now we're going to start row 12. I'm going to chain 3, and this acts as our first double crochet. And now I'm going to do, in the same stitch, I'm going to do a triple crochet. For those that don't know how to do it, you're going to yarn over 2 times, insert your hook. We're going to insert it in the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the second 2, yarn over, and go through the last 2. So, and now we're going to do a chain 1, and now we're going to skip over to the next stitch, and we're going to do another triple, yarn over 2 times, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the second 2, yarn over, and go through the last 2. And now in the same stitch we're going to do double crochet, and this creates our first corner. We made a corner using 2 stitches instead of making a corner in just 1. Okay, now we're going to, in the next stitch, we're going to do a double, and in the next stitch we're going to do a half double, and in the next 2 stitches we're going to do 1 single crochet in each of those. And now we're going to do a slip stitch in the next 10 stitches. And try not to do them too tight, because in the next row you're going to be working on them. Whoops. Okay, there's 1. And 10. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing that we started with, only we're going to do it backwards. So in the next 2 stitches we're going to do 1 single crochet in each of those. And in the next stitch we're going to do a half double. And in the next stitch a double. And now we're ready to make our second corner. So in the next stitch we're going to do a double, and in the same stitch we're going to do a triple, we're going to chain 1, and in the next stitch we're going to do a triple, and we're going to do a double in the same stitch. And so now we're through with our second corner. So this is what you should have so far. We've got the chain 3, which is acts as the first double. We have a triple all in the same stitch. We chained 1, and in the next stitch we've got a triple and a double all in the same stitch there. Then we have a double in the next stitch, in the next stitch a half double. The next 2 stitches we have 1 single crochet in each. Then we slip stitch into the next 10 stitches, and then in the next stitch we did a single, the next stitch we did a single, the next stitch we did a half double, the next stitch we did a double, the next stitch we did a double and a triple, then we chained 1, and in the next stitch we did a triple and a double. So go ahead and continue that same pattern all the way around, and I'll meet you here at the end. Okay, I'm at the end of row 12, and I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. I'm going to slip stitch into that triple. I'm going to slip stitch into this corner, the chain 1 space, just like that. Now I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to do a half double crochet in this corner. I'm going to chain 2, And I'm going to do one more half double crochet in that same corner. Now we're going to do, in the next 5 stitches, we're going to do 1 half double crochet in each. And be careful, this stitch here likes to hide. Okay, so there's 1. And 5. And now in the next 12 stitches, we're going to do 1 single crochet in each. And I made some of them too tight. That's why I said leave them a little bit loose, and then here I don't do it. Okay, now I've lost track of my count. Just 1 second. Okay, I just went ahead and did all my single crochets. And be careful on the previous row, and don't do your slip stitches too tight. I did mine too tight and I had trouble. And I do believe I told you to do a single crochet in the next 10 stitches. I'm sorry if I said that. I meant the next 12 stitches. So far we have our corner. After our corner we have 5 half double crochets, and then you're going to do 12 single crochets, 1 in each of the next 12 stitches. So I'm sorry about that. And now we have 5 stitches left. We're going to do 1 half double crochet in each of those. 4 and 5. So now we're at our second corner. We're just going to do 1 half double crochet, chain 2, and 1 more half double crochet in that same corner. So then you're just going to do 1 half double crochet in the next 5 stitches, and then after that you're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 12 stitches, and then after that you're going to do 1 half double crochet in the next 5 stitches, and then you'll be ready for your third corner. So go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you at the end of the row, and here's what it should look like so far. And like I said before, don't worry about this if it doesn't lay flat, because it will when you put your squares together. Okay, go ahead and finish, and I'll meet you here at the end. Okay, I'm at the end of row 13. I'm going to skip over that chain 1 there, and I'm going to slip stitch into this first half double crochet there. I'm going to chain 1, cut my yarn, and pull that through there to fasten off. Oops. And there's your peppermint square candy. And I'd love to see your finished throws. If you have a Facebook, I do have a Facebook crochet group where you can post them. I'll put a link to it in the description box. And if you haven't joined, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And hopefully I'll see you in my next video. And until then, God bless and happy crocheting. Bye-bye.